Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
If you grew up in church, you've studied the 10 Commandments, and you know that God gave Moses the 10 Commandments while he was on the mountain and wrote them on stone, which Moses then carried back down the mountain, only to find the Israelites involved in idol worship. In anger, Moses threw the stones down, breaking them. He dealt with the people's sin, then journeyed back up the mountain to redo the stones he'd broken and intercede for the people because of their sin. But the first time I really studied Exodus, one thing shocked me. Moses had been up and down that mountain carrying God's messages. But before Moses went up on the mountain to receive the commandments, God Himself came down and spoke to the people. Exodus 19:16 says, "It came to pass on the third day in the morning that there was thunderings and lightnings, a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of the trumpet was very loud, so that all the people who were in the camp trembled." Can you imagine hearing the 10 Commandments for the first time under those circumstances from the mouth of God? Think of yourself standing there, smoke billowing from the mountains surrounding you, the earth trembling at His voice, thunder, lightning, trumpets punctuating the silence between each verse. God's voice, loud and commanding. How would you feel? What would you do? Exodus 20:18 and 19 tells us how the Israelites responded. Now all the people witnessed the thunderings, the lightning flashes, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they trembled and stood afar off. Then they said to Moses, "You speak with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die." They were terrified, and understandably so. But Moses reassured them, "Do not fear, for God has come to test you, that His fear may be on you, so that you may not sin." If you wondered, both of the words for fear come from the same Hebrew word. God terrified them on purpose. Moses said, "Do not fear," because God wasn't there to kill them. He had chosen them. He loved them. But He wanted them to use that fear that they felt in that moment to keep them from sin. Knowing who God is should make us fear His wrath, fear offending Him, fear making Him angry. My dad is the gentlest man on earth, but fear of his spankings, which he always made clear he did out of love, kept me from doing a lot of things that popped into my young mind, because I realized sometimes love hurt. For the Israelites, God wanted them to fear Him, have a permanent awe and reverence for His power and might, yet know that this omnipotent God of the universe is the one taking care of them. He loves them. Somehow, this did not deter these rebellious people from making and worshiping an idol 1 month later. But it should have. They should have remembered the smoke, thunder, lightning, earthquaking, and terror they felt when God came near. It should have kept them from complaining and rebelling other times too. If it had, they wouldn't have wandered for 40 years in the desert, gotten bitten by snakes, or anything else. And it should have given them confidence, knowing that the terrifying God that they met at Mount Sinai was on their side. He would have no problem conquering their enemies. Now, we've never stood at Mount Sinai and experienced the smoke, thunder, lightning, earthquaking, and the voice of God. But we may have experienced Him in different ways. Besides, we have the Bible to tell us about who God is and what He's like. Fear of God should keep us out of a lot of trouble. But it should also make us confident. If we fear God, we have no reason to fear anything or anyone else. And if we know who God is, and that He loves us, we can be bold and confident in anything God has called us to do or walk through. Do you fear the Lord? How does that fear help you have confidence in the trial you're facing today?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.